Hello everyone, so today I will be introducing how to use this Python library Datashader to create a edge bundling graph. So this Python library is very useful to create different types of graph. For instance, you can see here is a geospatial chart with a heat map. Here another similar example but with colors. And also there's a lot of pretty graph you can use for your visualizations. So I'm going to concentrate on this use case. We will go user guide and networks. So you can see over here in this example, this is a normal chart with edges that are straight. If you use edge bundling, it will look something like this. So the algorithm they use is actually called hammer bundle. It's a variant of this research over here. You can click on this to find out more. So without further ado, I'm going to demonstrate how to use this library. So first I'm going to create a Jupyter notebook. In the meantime, I'm going to share the dataset I'm using. So it is this dataset from the machine learning repository on flags. So it contains the name of the country flag as well as the colors over here. So it is for the colors is 0 if there's no of the red present and 1 if it's present. So we will be concentrating on only the name and the colors. The rest will not be relevant. We have to do some data pre-processing because the column state is not present in the file. Okay, so first let me download the library. Do a quick install Datashader. And next, I'm going to import the library to the notebook, so you can do a quick copy paste over here. It is loading. Okay, and then now I'm going to read the data. I'm going to read the data into the notebook. So df equals to pandas.read csv flag.csv. Okay, I'm going to show you how the data looks like. You can see we have the name over here and the colors is hidden inside the ones and zeros. So I'm going to call columns. Df for columns. You can see there's the name of the country flag, and also the colors. 1 if it's present, 0 if it's absent. Okay, so now I'm going to fill in of df. So we have 194 country flags in our dataset. So quickly I'm going to create a list of the colors present so that it is easier for data work. Alright, now I'm going to create a data frame for the nodes. So the nodes consist of the name of the country as well as one node for each color. So right now I'm going to call nodes df name.tools nodes extend the colors. Now let's look at the nodes. So you can see that there's country over here, and also at the end is the colors. And now I'm going to create a dictionary that maps the name of the node to the index for convenience sake. For I node in enumerate nodes, d of the node is equals to I. And right now you can see the dictionary has been formed successfully. This will be used later during our data frame for the creation of the node data frame. So right now we are going to create the data frame. So let me create a new list, new nodes. For I when it enumerates nodes, if I is less than 194, which means that this node is a country because we can see that 193 is the last index for the country. New nodes append. So for these new nodes, it will have 4 categories. First is the name of the node. Second is what is it? So it is a country. Third, I want to put in the x and y coordinate of this node in the plot. So in my bipartite graph, I'm going to put all the country flag name on the left and the colors on the right. So for this x value, it will be 0 because it's on the left. And for the y value, I'm going to give it I divided by 193. So it will be on the left from bottom to top. Else, this node is a color, so new nodes, and same the name of the color. For this is color. Now the x coordinate is 1 because it's on the right, and for the y coordinate is I minus 193 divided by 7 because there's 7 colors. So now let's call new nodes. You can see that we have the name, the category, the zeros because it's on the left, and the y-axis similar to the color over here. Okay, now I'm going to create the nodes and dot data frame. So I'm going to create a data frame for these nodes. So new nodes, columns. For this column, the naming must be very specific. So first we have the name in small capital. Now we have the category, x coordinate and y coordinate. So now if you take a look, we have the name, the country, the x and the y. So for now, I'm going to make sure that the data frame know the category over here, whether it's a country or color. This is a category. So I'm going to call nodes.cat equals to nodes.cat.sty category. Alright, it does nothing to the nodes, but now it knows that for this column is a category. Next, I'm going to create a data frame for ages. So let me call ages is a new list for each color. I'm going to call color list data frame of the color dot list. So what this does is you take each color, for instance blue, and then you print the color list. So color list means that it's a ones and zero of each country. So for instance, color list 0 represents the first country. So if this value is 0, means blue is not absent in the 0th country. And if it's 1, it means that if this whole value is 1, it means that blue is present in this country flag. So now for each of these country, I and J, enumerate color list if J equals to 1, which means the color is present, ages and I, which is the index of the node of the country, to the color, and the color I'm going to call D of the color that we have created earlier. So now we call ages. You can see now, remember that for the small values is the countries, and for the bigger value is the colors. So now the 0th country is connected to the 194th color. I think 194 is red. So now let's create a data frame for this. So ages equals to pandas.data frame ages columns, same as node, the naming must be specific. So source and target, and we call ages. So we can see now we have the source node and the target nodes, and this whole thing is a list of ages. Okay, right now we are ready, so we have to go back to this website because it's not in the library, so we have to do a manual copy paste over here. So I'm going to get the block height, block width, and also this function called plus node. And next, I'm going to get another 2 functions over here, and we are ready to plot the graph. So right now, I'm going to plot a normal bipartite graph without each boundary. So I'm going to call this function graph plot nodes. For these edges, we have to call a function called edges of the nodes and edges. And the category is cat. So this category over here will differentiate the category for countries and colors. And call df.image. It's going to take some time. Okay, now you can see on the left we have all the country flag as blue nodes, and on the right the colors as the red nodes. and we have a normal bipartite graph with straight edges. So if we want to create a bipartite graph with edge bundling, we simply replace the connect edges over here with hammer bundle. It's going to take some time. In the meantime, let me go back to here. So in the hammer bundle function, there is this function that controls the number of edge bundling. So for instance, you can see over here, if the bundle BW is smaller, it will create more edges. If it's bigger, it will be more connected. So you can see the edges, the small edges are more connected to each other, and there's less big edges that is defined by the darker lines. So now you can see here we have successfully created a edge bundling graph. So now let me try to create a edge bundling that is more similar to this with a higher BW. BW stands for bandwidth. So right now I'm going to introduce a parameter called initial bandwidth. I'm going to give it 0.3 like the example over there. And you can see now it is more similar. The edge bundling is more compact. There's less thick lines and more thin lines over here. Okay, so this is the end of the tutorial. I hope that you have enjoyed it and find this useful in your creation of edge bundling graph. You can also explore more, because for me I put the edges all on the left and right. If you want, you also can use the libraries provided to create a circular one, circular graph where the nodes are placed in a circle. But because it's a bipartite graph, actually the functions over here, let me find it. Yeah, it's called circular layout. But the problem is it actually generates the X and Y over here randomly. So you cannot control which nodes goes where. So this is why I prefer to define the X and Y for myself. But you can also define the X and Y for yourself. Alright, so that's the end. I hope you have find my tutorial useful. Goodbye.